All right, I am here with my grandma and my grandpa. This is Shirley and Rich. Okay, and we're going to do a little interview today. I wrote up some questions for them. So we're going to start off by asking when and where were you born?
Sapulpa, Oklahoma, 1942. Now, I don't remember much about that except I was born in a small house on the kitchen table.
I didn't know that. When were you born?
I was born in Warner, Minnesota in 1939.
1939. You might have to speak up a little bit.
Okay. And I don't remember anything about it either, but I was born on
there
the kitchen
anything-
table.
You both were born on the kitchen table?
I was. I don't know about her. I wasn't there.
You were there. Was there anything special about that day that you know?
That my father named me, that was probably one of the biggest things that was special to me after I grew up and knew what it was all about.
I think the day after I was born was a big thing with Germany. September 3rd, 1939. I think there was something real significant. I can't remember exactly what it was, but
Okay.
World War II.
World War II? What is your first memory?
My first memory was when I was small and my dad was still living. He used to take all of us kids, there were 5 of us, to the store and buy us ice cream cones
Aww.
every Sunday.
Every Sunday? What about you, Grandpa?
The earliest thing I remember is we had a parade in 1945, so I would have been 6 years old, and we had a parade, and my brother had 2 garbage can covers, and he banged them together, and we had a couple flags, and we marched around this area in Duluth, Minnesota, and that's probably one of my earliest recollections.
Really? Okay, tell me about your parents.
My dad was small in size, but he was big in stature. He was quite a lovable man. My mother was very strict. She used to give me a key to the door, and then she would lock the screen so I couldn't get in with my key.
That's funny.
With me, well, that's one of my biggest regrets in life is that this family didn't know my mother. She was a saint, and she played the piano really well, really well.
What about your dad?
My dad basically worked during the war. He worked in a steel plant to support the war effort, I guess you'd have to say. And then after that, he retired and he did some farming. He was a good man.
How did your family earn money?
We moved from Oklahoma to California, and my father worked in a packing plant. My mother never worked. There were 5 children, so she didn't work, but that's how he made his living.
What about you?
We didn't have much money. Well, we didn't know. We were poor, but we didn't know it. Everybody around us was pretty much the same. We grew a lot of our own food, and we sold pickles, cucumbers and pickles in the summertime.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I'm in the middle. I have 2 brothers who are passed on and 2 sisters who are still living.
And I had 2 brothers and 3 sisters, and my brother Bob are the only 2 left out of the 6. But I was the baby of the family, so everybody was fairly old when I came along.
Okay. Tell me about your childhood friends.
Oh, I have one that their parents ran a little mom and pop store, so we thought they were just the wealthiest people in the whole world. And my sister was friends with her oldest daughter, and I was friends with her youngest daughter. And that's where we used to spend a lot of time, was in the little mom and pop store.
I don't have a lot of contact with my childhood friends. I still have one that I have contact with, but I don't have a lot of memories from back then.
Did you guys get an allowance? Or did you do chores?
We did chores, but I can tell you I did not get an allowance. Allowance was never even thought of. You just
Was
did
it-
what you
wasn't
had
a
to do.
thing?
No, I never even heard it till I got older.
No, that was not a word that was used.
Wow. Okay. What do you remember about school?
I remember about school when they would have fire drills and bomb drills. When the bomb drills came, you would have to get under your desks and hide for several minutes. And they would have a siren going off, and it was kind of scary at that time.
Remember anything about school?
Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to explain something like that. I was a busy kid, and I don't know what else I could say.
Okay. Where did you go for family vacations?
Arkansas.
Before marriage, we went back to Oklahoma to see my grandparents, and after marriage, we went to Arkansas to see the other part of my family.
I went with her.
What are the main differences between growing up today and then when you grew up? There's a lot.
One of the biggest things I can remember is my mother. She was kind of a scaredy cat. She would lock the door, but you did not have to lock the door because you were afraid. But here, now in this day and age, you would never think of going anywhere unless you locked your door.
Right.
And we used to even keep our windows open, which is so different now.
Mm-hmm.
I think the difference in the technology stuff with the
Yeah.
phones and the people
Definitely.
back then would not believe that we could do what we can do today.
Mm-hmm.
What we can do, what you can do, anyway.
Do you remember any popular phrases?
Oh, you kid.
You're so fine.
Yeah, that's really cool, man.
Okay.
And it was, what was some Peachy Keen?
No.
Is that a song?
Oh, you kid.
Oh.
No, it's not a song.
Not a
It's
song?
just the dumb stuff we used to say.
When did you learn how to drive and who taught you?
My mother taught me on a 49 Mercury, and I got my license when I was 16. And that car was really so fine now. I mean, even now.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the kind of cars that were really cool at 49 Mercury. Column shift.
What about
I
you?
pretty much taught myself in the early years, then I went to driver's ed. And I used to sneak back roads to roller skate. Dad let me take the car. I was 12 or 13.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's see. Did you go to college?
I never did. I was happy to get through high school. We were not even a middle class family. Those were hard times back then, but we didn't know it. I mean,
Yeah.
so no, I never went to college.
When I got out, you either stayed on the farm, helped your dad, went in the military, and then the other kids would go to school.
And you went into the
I
military?
went to the school. I went to the military, and I went to the school of hard knocks.
What did you
School
do in the
boy.
military?
Huh?
What did you do in the military?
I served.
You served.
Yeah, I served. I was on a carrier for 2 years, on a flight deck of a carrier, and it was very interesting.
What was your favorite job?
Well, I was a kid. I didn't like to work. Are you talking about back at when?
Out of any of your jobs?
I can tell you my first job. It was working in a hamburger joint, and in those times you worked. I was 14 years old. You worked and you helped your family out, and then even during high school we went to Oregon, and we used to pick beans. And my whole family were there. We picked green beans, and that was really fun. It was like camping outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
Do you have a favorite job?
Nah, not really.
No.
No.
Being a grandpa?
I'm a driver. That's what I do. It's probably something I halfway enjoy when I don't have to go too far from home.
Mm-hmm.
You get to enjoy owning your own business.
No. I still have nightmares.
What about a home business?
I'm having my own business, I still have nightmares, and it's been
Uh-oh.
25 years or
Oh, I
longer.
thought it went away.
Yeah.
What do you like to do in your free time?
What I like to do in my free time is just to be able to get up and do what I want at the time. I don't really enjoy having to say I'm going to have to do this, that, or the other thing any certain time. I like to just be a free person and move as I want.
Okay.
I think the favorite thing I do, I enjoy family get-togethers with
Like
my
Thanksgiving?
granddaughters and my grandsons.
When did you guys meet?
Before September, in
Probably August.
How did you meet?
oh, I went to visit my cousin in Los Angeles or Downey, California, and it was our turn to do the washing. So we had to go get some boxes to put our clothes in, and we didn't have any boxes. So there was a liquor store right across from the laundromat, and I went in to get some boxes. And he was working there. And I got the boxes, and the next thing I knew, he had followed me into the laundromat. And I go, whoa, what's this?
What's your side of the story?
Well, I wasn't working there. I was spending time with my brother and helping him out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But three of us were batching it, and it was my turn. I had the clothes in the car.
Yeah.
That's the gospel. And I had the clothes in the car, and I said, "Well, hey, I might as well go over." It's awful cute.
What makes your spouse unique? What makes Grandma unique?
She's a piece of work. Well, I can't say that without getting emotional, so I'll just say that she's been a wonderful wife for 55 years.
Good answer. What about Grandpa?
Oh, Lord.
Well, I have to say, the thing that did attract me to him was because he cared so much about his mother. And I felt that a man who cared that much about his mother would be a good husband. And he is a very good family man. So what I sensed in him that day carries on over into his own family.
How many children and grandchildren do you have?
We have 8 grandchildren, 1 grandson-in-law, and 2 great-grandchildren, and 1 on the way.
What's your favorite memory about raising kids?
We don't have any kids.
Grandkids.
That's how many kids we had.
Kids and grandkids.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
we
3
had-
kids.
we had
3
Three
kids.
children. 3 children.
and that the grandkids.
8 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren, right? Yeah.
And 1 on the way. And another great grandchildren.
On the way.
No, Becca's daughter.
Step.
Yeah.
Oh.
Step.
well,
Or
she's
however you say it.
not
No,
married
not
yet.
step. Well, yeah,
Just,
Temporarily.
what is your favorite memory about raising kids?
I thought it was a lot of fun. They were unique and different in each of their own ways. And I just thought it was just fun. And like a lot of people today, they have to have people come in and help them. When we got married in the year that we got married in, you just did what comes natural. And so when you look back, you just wonder, how did I do that? Or how did I do that? It was just a sense
You just
that
did
you
it.
had. And that was just kind of fun.
Do you have a favorite memory?
Yeah, I have a lot of them, you know.
Anything funny happen?
A lot of them. I can't relate right now.
Okay.
Grand Canyon story.
Huh?
Grand Canyon story.
The Grand Canyon?
What about the Grand Canyon?
Knocking on that door.
Painted,
Oh, that wasn't the Grand Canyon.
Painted Canyon.
Painted
That's a memory of your kid, your child.
Painted Canyon.
Oh, we were moving to Idaho. We stopped at Teddy Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota. And I thought my son went in one of these private porta potties. So I went up to the thing and I beat the doggies out of the thing, hammered on it, and I ran. And pretty soon a little old man come out. pretty shook up, and Richie came out of another one. Oh, man. I don't know how I messed that up, I really don't. Oh, yeah.
What makes you proud?
Other than my family, the American flag. I am very, very patriotic, and the military is something that's very near and dear to my heart.
Anything for
What
you?
makes me proud? I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud of what we have here, and I'd like to see it preserved.
Okay. What do you remember about me being born?
We were so excited, and the biggest thing was that we were waiting to see whether it was a boy or girl, whether you were a boy or a girl. Of course, we would have been happy whichever way it went, but sitting there just wondering what you were, our only son's first baby was a big deal.
Okay.
The first 5 years of your life, we had a lot of pleasant memories, and we still do. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Going to DC.
Hmm?
Taking me to
Yes, taking
Washington,
me to
D.C.
Walking into walls is one thing.
Put blankets on my head. Made me walk into walls.
That's
Yeah.
what her
Go
daddy
home.
did. We didn't do that.
Where's your daddy?
Is there anything that you want to do in life that you haven't?
No, I'm just happy seeing my family grown and that I think we have a great family and can't say much more than that. We've done a lot of stuff. We've been a lot of places and haven't done a lot of stuff like other people, but I think we've had a real full life.
To be honest, there isn't anything that I just really wish I would have done. My favorite place is to be home. My favorite times are with you kids and all the grandkids and great-grandkids and our 3 children. I just don't think there's anything better than that. And son-in-laws.
Can you think of your greatest memory
Ever?
ever? Having a first child.
Oh,
As a what?
Greatest
Just as a grandparent?
Just as anything, if you have one thing that sticks out to you the most.
looking back, I'd say meeting her.
Following her into
Well, the
the
best thing that
laundry.
ever happened to me. I mean, we had our ups and downs, whatever. And, looking back, I wouldn't want to have it any other way.
Yeah.
I think one of my memories will always be the night that I came to the Lord, and that Sunday I just knew I had to get myself saved. I went to church, I got saved, and I came home and told him I did it. He said, "You did what?" Well, what he didn't know was to be born again. And so that night, our friends had a prayer meeting. And I looked around, and all of a sudden, everybody was gone except my husband and this one man. So by about 1:30 in the morning, from 6 o'clock to 1:30 in the morning, he accepted the Lord. And I don't think there's anything that will ever be as strong as my mind as the war that went on between Satan and the Lord for his soul. I mean, it was really something. That's the biggest memory ever of my life.
Is there anything that scares you about aging?
Wrinkles.
The only thing that scares me is dementia, and I don't want to be around if I'm like that. If I don't know you and my kids, I want to be gone. That's all.
The only thing that bothers me should America ever fall under, and that is probably the only thing that scares me right now, the country that we live in. I want it to be safe and strong like it was when I was a kid. I want to feel safe again like I felt when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That's my biggest hope.
If you could go back to living any age, what age would you pick and why?
Stone.
The Stone Age.
Any age? Boy, that's a tough
Your
one.
20s, your 30s.
Well, I think 1961, the year that we were married, because there were so many new things. I lived in California and he lived in Minnesota, so we went to Minnesota and got married. And it was
We
just
got married and went to Minnesota. in
got
that
married and
order.
went to Minnesota. It was just a big deal to change from being a 19-year-old baby to a wife, and just the difference in the way that we lived was just fun. We really enjoyed it, and so
Yeah.
I think that 1961 was a real fun year.
Do you have a year?
I'd say, yeah, I don't think of anything different than that, do we?
Do you remember any difficult times? Or is there a most difficult time that sticks out?
We had a lot of them. We were poor, but we didn't know we were poor. I mean, we had, I worked 7 days, no, well, how many, when they work? 7 days and 4 nights for 5 years. So she raised the kid with her, and Richie came along, but that's what I did work, and she basically raised the kids.
Were there any big influences in your life that you can think of? People or things?
Probably my 5th grade teacher. I thought he cared about his students, and he wanted to make sure that you learned, and he was a big influence because he helped and he tried his best to teach us. And I look at some of the kids today and they can't say their teachers really tried to help them. So he was a big influence on my life. His name was Mr. Casey.
Grandpa?
Yeah, a big influence has been the Word, because when I got born again, it changed my whole life. I was not all that nice a person, and I don't know what I am now, but I wasn't like I'm better than I was then. But that was probably the most significant event in my life.
That changed you?
We've never strayed, never strayed.
Is there anything that you would have done differently?
We don't have time for all this. Lots and lots of things.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that you try to do is not to continue to look back. Be happy with where you are and what you are. Because if you get hung up on things that you wish you would have done or should have done or could have done, it just gets in your way from going forward.
Mm-hmm.
We made some big moves. Probably weren't the greatest moves, but at the time we thought they were the thing to do. We moved to Idaho twice, and California once, Tulsa once. We've been everywhere. I had to write a song about that.
Do you have any life advice for your kids?
Stick to your Christian principles, number one. It's the most important thing in your life. And everything else will fall into place. And it won't always be perfect. You'll still have trials, but we just heard that Sunday. Count it a joy when you fall into diverse temptations, because the trying of your faith will make it stronger. So if you never have any trials, you don't have anything to get through. You don't have to depend on anybody or the Lord, anything. And once you do that, you're stronger for it. That's the best.
My biggest advice is don't judge somebody by what you think they are, because sometimes our thinking is wrong. Let them be who they are, like them for what they are, and if you don't agree, disagree, whatever, keep their friendship. Do not let it go over disagreements.
You have anything
Can I
else?
answer that already?
Yeah, you both can answer.
No, what was the question?
Oh yeah, I was just looking at you. Do you
Yes,
guys have anything else to say?
Be happy.
Well,
Do
thank you
not
guys.
look backward, look forward.
I mean, we think you're special, and just you continue on that same path.
Thanks
Jamie
for being
is
a part
a
of
treat. She's a treat.
Thanks for being a part of my interview. Took 24
You have been awesome.